Hey everyone, Mrhappy here, and welcome to Mondays with Mrhappy, aka Mrhappy Mondays, a weekly Q&A show where you ask me questions and I answer them. I'm in my loungewear today. I actually took the day off. I think Ivy took the day off too, as you can see her in the back right there. Yeah, I just had a really bad week of just congestion, like every night costing me. It's like, this was the actual week where I did not get a lot of sleep. Every week's like, oh, you need to get more sleep. No, I get a good amount of sleep. This week though, absolutely not. All came to a head today. I almost didn't stream on Saturday instead, but yeah, I took Sunday off other than recording this. So we're gonna get through this Q&A, and then I'm gonna, get back to just chilling. Maybe spend some time with my cats when Ivy's awake and whatnot. Quick thing though, because I'm not making a lot of videos this month, I'll probably just do a few like little basic things on the channel. Just take a chill month because I haven't really been doing that for the past, I don't know how long. I'm going to be putting Magic Spoon ads on the weekly Q&As. They've been sponsoring me every month, and even though I'm not producing a lot, I still want to make good on all of that. So that's going to be the plan. I'm going to put it probably on this one, the next one, and then one, maybe two other videos. I've got quite a bit for them that I got to do this month, but I don't have a lot of videos going on this month. So just giving you a heads up. So if you want to support the channel, definitely use the Magic Spoon discount. All the details will be in the ad itself that I'm going to be playing for you. And I'll roll right from that ad into the actual Q&A portion of the video. But with that, let me and my, I guess Twitter's been calling it Ichiban hair. I don't know. It's like, I've seen one person say I'm a Saiyan. I saw a few Ichibans on Twitter. I think I saw the alien guy, aliens, that guy. But let's just get on into the video after the sponsor. Oh, and thanks everyone on Patreon for supporting. You don't have to support, you choose to. Just watching the videos is more than enough, but there's always extra means of support if anyone really enjoys what they're watching. So with that, Magic Spoon ad, and then Q&A. Let's go. Now, before we get started, this video has a sponsor. Magic Spoon is back again. Love getting to do this one every month. Magic Spoon is an adult quality cereal with childlike nostalgia. Enjoy a high protein cereal or treat bar with less sugar, high fiber, and all the dietary accommodations you may need. Now, this month they sent me their two newest treat bar flavors, blueberry muffin and double chocolate. I had these in my mailbox as soon as I got home from the gym, so perfect timing. I just came upstairs and immediately recorded. I'm a huge chocolate fiend, so I knew I was gonna love the double chocolate. But the blueberry muffin bar came surprisingly close. Both delicious, both hitting that sweet tooth that I have way too big a problem with, and both with only 1 gram of sugar. Now, if you'd like to try these new bars or one of their many, many cereal flavors while also supporting the channel, then click the link below and get some today. You can build your own custom box of cereal, including some of my favorite flavors like maple waffle, cinnamon roll, and birthday cake. Best of all, use my link and discount code Mrhappy to get $5 off your box. Maybe use that discount and treat yourself to one of those new 2 treat bar flavors. And if you don't like it, Magic Spoon has a 100% happiness guarantee. Let them know and they'll refund you, no questions asked. So click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen and use code Mrhappy to get $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/Mrhappy to save $5 on your order. It even works in Canada and the UK. Thanks to Magic Spoon for sponsoring, and now on with the video. All right, hashtag Mondays with Mrhappy. Heya, hi, hiya, hi, how are you? Great, you? Good, awesome, good, great, grand, wonderful. After taking your advice last week on the Just Do It for Harder content, I finally stopped talking myself out of it and just joined newbie groups for BA and DRS. Those are big ones, and got my Ozma and Cerberus. There you go. Related to that, because of how unique those instances are in terms of mechanics and whatnot, I can't imagine what it's like progging those and figuring out secrets and everything. I found so much confusing even with people doing callouts. Since you were around for both of these things when they were new and unknown, what was it like for people who are trying to figure everything out? How long did it take? It wasn't that different to regular prog. I think the most different thing might have been figuring out the secret to absolute virtue. I recall we started making headway on it. Like we got to that section and we figured out there was a secret room, but we didn't know exactly what we had to do in the basement. It was really simple. We just had to kill everything in there, and then outside the boss also had to die. But I think the boss outside the first time we did it didn't die. So then we obviously just, that's it. Your run is sunk if the support group can't actually kill it. But it wasn't much different. It was a matter of doing it, failing, and doing it again. The biggest difference, especially with BA, was failing often meant people losing levels, often meant needing to quickly go get the levels back. Fortunately, with reflect farming on elementals, that wasn't that bad. But it would, yeah, it would, the only other thing was how big the groups were. Organizing groups of that size for prog sucks. My only time I've ever been late to a raid, only time ever, was to DRS. I was late by an hour. You ever been late to an 8-man raid and had 7 people disappointed at you? Try being late to a 48-man raid and having 47 people upset with you. Not to mention I had to stop and make my coffee. So, but it wasn't that much different. It was just way bigger of a group. And, you know, the people who died or made mistakes, it's hilariously enough, you stood out more, in my opinion, if you died in those big groups versus, you know, dying in the 8-man group. Because the 8-man group, you know, somebody dies, it falls apart, you go again immediately almost every time. In these, it's like when people start falling and they fall frequently, you notice because you're talking about hours and hours of commitment to get back to a prog point. And that definitely weighs on people's souls a little bit more. So that was probably the biggest difference. But it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of positive energy. And BA is one of my only world firsts in Final Fantasy XIV. And it was a wonderful experience. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey, Mr. Happy. Hey. I had a lot of thoughts over this past couple months about moving job unlock quest locations to the expansion zones, like how you had to be in Ishgard for Dark Astro Machinist. Do you think it would be a good idea to do that? No. So the main reason they don't do that is because the levels that you can unlock these jobs are before you ever get to the expansion areas. Great example, the Stormblood jobs unlock at 50. You don't start going to Stormblood areas until after level 60. So you're just screwed for 10 extra levels. There's no good reason to do it other than delaying people further. And in fact, this is because of feedback where people didn't like having to make it to Ishgard to start Dark Knight, Astro, and Machinist, even though basically they had to get to 50, do a ton of story quests, then go back to level 30, come back up to level 20, and they had to have, it's way better this way. So that's, yeah, they're never going to do this, ever, ever, ever. Hashtag Monday with Mr. Happy. Hello, Mr. Happy. Hi. Hope all is well and still getting those gym gains. Oh, yeah. Luckily, also today is a double whammy because it's one of my rest days from the gym. So really didn't have to do anything today. My question is about unreeling the older ultimates. Unreeling? Oh, making them unreal. So I was like, wait, like fishing. So I see ever do that. Do you think they would future-proof them, remove cheesy aspects of they're never, well, A, they're never going to do it, and B, no, they'd leave them completely identical. There's nothing res cheese or way to perfect Alexander. That's not something they realistically need to fix. That's something that is so not doable for most people that they would never bother. The timing for that is so perfect. No one's going to throw out 10 minutes to try to get that done. It's disastrous to try to get that timing down. But if they did it, they wouldn't even be unreeling it, to be clear. They'd be bringing it up and keeping it, because there's no shot they would unreal an ultimate for a patch, which is what unreals do. They go away after a patch. If they're going to catch ultimates up to the current level, they're going to leave them like that for ages, and they're going to replace the level 70 versions. They're not going to just be a now higher level version. So yeah. My second question is also ultra related. Do you think Blue Mage or Beastmaster will ever be able to go into ultimates? No. They've had their opportunity for years. They clearly don't want to do it. I don't agree, but no. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Well met, Mr. Happy. Hello. Generally, how much time do you spend per week dedicating to your exercise routine? About 9 hours. I'd say, no, 9 hours? No, that's too much. That's if I worked out 6 days a week. 7.5 is a good amount, because generally I walk to and from the gym, and that takes quite a bit of time, and I'll factor that in. Plus an hour plus at the gym, normally 6 to 7 sets across 2 or 3 body parts 5 times a week. So yeah, I'd say about 7.5 hours. I put more time into my eating routine than I do into my exercise routine, significantly more time. That's like double the time just making sure I have everything in cooking and meal prep and all that. It's way more. Although that's kind of not fair. I spend more time thinking on it and considering it and balancing it. But the actual cooking and eating part, you know, not going to throw all of it in there at the same time. Yeah, about 7.5 hours. Hashtag Happy Mondays with Happy. True. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you and the cats are well. We're doing all right. I was wondering if we will ever see an Eorzea type episode, Eorzea type episode again for State of the Realm. Really enjoy watching you, Sly and Ethish, talking about the lore. Maybe get Anonymous or any other lore heads. Yeah, we want to do something else related to that. Sly and I have discussed it. And so the answer is a likely yes. However, it would likely be somebody other than Ethis because he's largely exited the space. You know, he's doing his own thing for his own well-being in life. And so, you know, that's all there is to that. So it's never been written off. It's just we've never gotten around to making it happen again. So maybe, and please look forward to maybe seeing it again. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hi, Mr. Happy. Hi, how are you? Doing all right. Aside from the cinematic teasers and trailers that we get with every FanFest for an upcoming expansion, we also get a launch trailer. When do you think we'll get the launch trailer for Dawn Trail? Thank you for reading, and my apologies if you answered this. I'd have to just check the date, but the launch trailer is normally, I think, like... I'm trying to think of when we saw the Endwalker one. I can't remember if it's at the very last live letter or if they save. I feel like it is. I feel like it's at the last. Here's the thing. It's either literally on early access, like, you know, maintenance, or it's within like the few weeks before. Because it's a launch trailer. Launch trailers are always close to the launch of the game. So yeah, you won't get that very early. But yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to look back, but I feel like it's normally right around early access time. Maybe even around launch. No. I feel like I've watched a live letter with it in it. I don't know. I have to go back and look. Just look at. Okay, my advice is, since my answer is waffly, go and look at the date for the Shadowbringer and Walker one, and then look at the date for those expansions and subtract, I guess. Hashtag Monday with Mr. Happy. Hello, hello. I don't get why SE removed Kai 10 but not Cure 1. It can't possibly be because of the 50 people out there trying to do Coil Synced, which. I mean, upgrade Cure 1 to Cure 2. That's right. I have no good answer. Kai 10, there's a good answer. It's because it's just one extra button press that you'll always press at the exact same time in your rotation. And I know that's not a defense of really any ability in the game. Don't get me wrong, you know, especially the way 2 minutes are. But specifically, I mean, like, it's just, oh, I'm gonna do this one weapon skill or one of these two weapon skills. I have to make sure I have enough to kite 10 beforehand, and that's it. So they're just like, well, that's just adding a button that is just will only ever be used in those two places. So we'll get rid of it. But Cure 1's used in theoretically in 0 places once you have Cure 2. So I feel you on that, and I have no good explanation. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hi, Mr. Happy. Hello. Just a quick question about the recent Xbox 14 news. Do you think that the pause on releasing on Xbox had anything to do with the announcement that Game Pass sub will be required outside of the free trial? And if so, is this a trend we see continue onto PlayStation? Just curious what your thoughts are as I started on PS3 way back when and play now on PC. PS, I respect your gains. Thank you. So, Xbox has not had Final Fantasy XIV for 2 reasons for the past decade. Reason number 1 was that they wanted an additional sub. They've wanted 14 to require what was Xbox Silver or Gold back then is now Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. They wanted that. That was a contingency that they had to have before they would allow Final Fantasy XIV to be on Xbox. That was one of 2 contingencies. The second contingency was Xbox exclusive servers. So we can see that one of those things happened and the other didn't. So one could assume that they probably made some sort of deal in that regard. But I think the better or more likely explanation that why you need it now, and by the way, PlayStation's not going to do that. This is an Xbox thing. The thing is, Xbox doing this and PlayStation not doing it, PlayStation's just like, all right, we'll take that W. We're just going to leave it as is. What do you mean? We've been selling the licenses for this. We've been collecting on that the entire time. Is that Xbox probably presents the volume of players that actually have the level of Game Pass required to actually play. And the number is probably so high that I could assume it's not considered a detriment as much anymore because it's so rampant across the entirety of people who play on Xbox / PC but have Game Pass. In some capacity, most people have Game Pass when they're looking at the numbers. So they probably just figured, yeah, that's fine. I'm curious if there's Xbox. Here's the thing. I've seen a bunch of people who don't play on Xbox or have an Xbox but don't really use it or don't have Game Pass saying that it's awful. But everyone that I know that's like a really like diehard Xbox person has the requisite game passes and don't care. So I'm curious which one outweighs the other, because Xbox doesn't really have the market share that it used to all those years ago. So I don't know what that actually means in terms of user base, but the important thing is you will almost certainly not see PlayStation follow suit, because they want to take the W of looking good in this situation. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey, Happy. Hello. Hope your workout schedule has been more consistent than mine. Yeah, we had one extra day off this week to watch State of Play because we all assumed that there was going to be a demo, and there was indeed a demo. So, you know, I had to make sure I was on for that. I doubly had to make sure I was on for that because I was doing a sponsored bit. So, you know. What is your expectation for the first Unreal trial in Dawn Trail? So first of all, that will not be until 7.1. We're going to be Unrealists for quite some time. Number 2, I really want Ravana. I don't think it'll be Ravana. Who it will be is such a good question, though, because Thornton would have been my guess, but we already got Thornton. So, Mooring Triad, Thornton. You know, maybe they'll just do Nidhogg. I think Nidhogg's actually going to be a pretty tough Unreal to do. But yeah, I'm gonna throw my hat in and say it'll be Nidhogg, and then after that it'll be Susano. That's going to be where my guess. Actually, after that, here's the thing. Okay, it's either Susano or Nidhogg, and then the next one after that will probably be Byakuya, then Suzaku, then Seiryu, then Shinryu. I don't think you'll see Shinryu until the end of Dawn Trail Unreals. I think they'll follow a similar suit to what they did in this expansion. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hi. It's definitely a lightning round question. Too late, it's here. But eyeglasses in Dawn Trail. Do you think there'll be a new gear slot or something akin to belt, or just a glam thing? Just a glam thing. There's not gonna be any stats on your eyeglasses. So they'll likely be a fashion accessory. In fact, didn't they say it was gonna be a fashion? I thought they did say it was gonna be a fashion accessory, but I might be misremembering. But that's all I expect from it. Hashtag Hyundais with Mr. Mrhappy. You switched the letters. How clever. Hey, Haps. Hi. I'm sure you've had this question before, but I figure there was no harm in asking again. There's never a harm in asking again, unless I hate the question. What is it that you like about playing as a Lalafell? I don't care about what race I play in Final Fantasy XIV. I play as a Lalafell because somebody paid for me to change to a Lalafell ages ago, and I never felt like changing my character again. Now, I prefer playing as a Lalafell strictly because I don't take up as much of the screen, and it's easier to see everything around me and exactly the pixel my character is standing on. And I quite like that. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey, Mr. Happy. Hi. What are your thoughts on tank invulns and their cooldowns? Way too strong. With Warriors cooldown being so low, they get extra invulns in. That's way more than those fights, but yeah, in a lot of fights. At the same time, Paladins being so long, you have to invuln before Delta and top, making it really awkward if your code tank is a Gunbreaker who cannot invuln later than before Sigma. Balance seems really off. Do you think they'll make any changes? See, here's the thing. If they make them all the same cooldown, which I think is logical, then everyone screams homogenization. I personally don't think we should even have tank invulns because I think they're just busted and cheesy and not very interesting gameplay wise. It's like, it's the most interesting thing that can happen is you can catch 2 skills apart that are like, you know, 9 seconds apart. So like if you time it perfectly, you catch one thing and then you catch the second thing with it. You're like, yeah, I'm so cool. I think they're more of a detriment to gameplay than they are a benefit. So I think they will make changes, and I don't think they'll get rid of them, to be clear. I don't think they're ever going to consider doing that. But I'm in the favor that they should just be gone from the game, personally. Oh, and the second question, an Alo Savage version of Viper or Pecto. I doubt it, but I'm holding on to a totem, or a manuscript they're called, just in case. Hashtag Monday, and that's where the hashtag ends. As soon as there's an apostrophe there, the hashtag is over, and now it's apostrophe S with Mr. Happy. Got it. Hi, Mr. Happy. Hi. And an extra hello and hey for anyone that forgets. No one so far, but we've had a lot more of it as of late. Got a couple questions about consumables and materia for higher end content. I'll tell you the answer right now is always use them. Unless, yeah, okay, to be fair, like food, try to use as much as freedom, but don't like pot in a dungeon or anything like that. I've been looking to hop into Sildi Subterranean Criterion with a couple of friends, unsure what to prepare for it outside of basic gear level requirements. What's expected in terms of consumable and materia? You should always have materia. Okay, let me be clear about this. Materia is never even a question. That's it. If you're doing any content at max level that isn't just your basic, and honestly, even if you are doing your basic dungeons, materia is so cheap and so available. There's no excuse to ever not be using materia. I'll go ahead and say it. If I see a player not using materia, I'll somewhat forgive dungeons, because there are some people who just like role play and keep up with the story, and like I'm not concerned. I'll be mildly disappointed, but I won't be that concerned. Anything above dungeons, if I see someone materialist, I just know I never want to group with that player. That's it. I'll never be like, yeah, come on, man, let's go do extreme. Because like, no, if you put the minimal effort into your gear, you're gonna put. I have no trust in the effort you're gonna put into anything else. So, consumables, on the other hand, there's, I think, more places where people are a little bit more comfortable. Like, they don't have to use food in a 24-man or in a dungeon or in a normal mode trial. Like, there's a lot of places where you can skip using food. You might be in there for like 5 minutes and it's like a 40-minute food, and you're like, yeah, I don't need the other 35. It's a matter of Ravagers and pots too. Like pots, most people will save just for Savage, just for Ultimate. Extreme trials if they really want to make sure it goes fast, but not too surprised when people don't do that. If you're doing Criterion, it is expected you bring all of those things and you use them as frequently as possible. Which consumables materia mandatory as opposed to suggested? Oh, I think I just answered all that. Perfect. I technically answered the second part, if I scroll down here, in my first part answer. So yeah, an easier content, nobody cares. Anything harder than dungeons, though, you need to bring things and use things and prepare them frequently. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Greetings, Sir Happy. Hello, and hello to the kitties. Oh, they're both back there now. Yeah, you can't, I don't know if you can really see. Aloha's literally right here on the other side of that. Anyway, long-time viewer, first-time question. You may have answered this in a previous vid. That's fine. Can't expect everyone to have seen everything. So apologies in advance if you have. What are your thoughts on the Astro Dragoon? Yeah, I've been asked that a million times. I mean, you were right, but still. Do you have any pet theories? I get it, because Dragoon, everyone... Never mind. What they'll be doing. Astro, I think they're going to lean more into the time mage bits, and Dragoon, I think they're going to lean more into jumps. I think jumps are going to be on the global cooldown. And I think Astro is just going to have a lot more timed spells and have way less emphasis on the card play. The cards are going to stay. I don't think the cards will ever go away. But there's going to be way less emphasis on them. And Dragoon, I think, is going to be a lot like Ninja's 5.1 rework, where the Mudras were put on the GCD and they reworked everything around that. I think the same thing's going to happen with Dragoon. So be on the lookout. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Haps. Hi. How you doing? I'm doing all right. You doing all right? Yeah, you doing all right. Couple questions related to limited jobs. I love blue, and I'm so glad we're not only getting more blue spells and level cap increase, but a new job in Beastmaster. First question is for blue. You might not agree with this, but I'd love to see another row to equip spells because the sheer number of useful spells we have. So I am sort of in agreement and sort of not. I think it's a lot of spells, but I have such a problem with the way they've added blue mage spells, because they're just not interesting. Like, it's just, there's like a few big nukes that have to get added because they don't share cooldowns with the old stuff. So you really want them and need them, and it's just like they're cracked. And then sometimes there's like one or two other spells that you like situationally consider, but it's like, you're right in that there's just not enough space for your spells. But it's like kind of annoying. It's because none of the decisions are interesting enough. Even in the Mass Carnival, in my opinion, they're not interesting enough. But outside, it's even less so. And so it's, I don't even know what to do. It's just too many. It's too many spells. Like, there's just, you can't do anything more interesting with them than what they're already doing, and that's not very interesting, in my opinion. That's why I'm one of the people who would have been, I really enjoyed Blue Mage, and I enjoyed going through, like, you know, the raids and whatnot. But I also am somebody who is perfectly okay with the idea of a normal Blue Mage that just, like, has set spells, and it's just, and the abilities are based off of things you've seen, and, like, in the job quests, you could have learned the spells, which you do kind of do for Blue Mage. You know, it is kind of how the job quests proceed now. But, you know, more formal. I would have been okay with that, just as a normal job. Second question is for Beastmaster. Do you see a similar skills like Basic Instinct or Etheric Mimicry be something we get on initial release? I think it'll be just your pets will have roles. I think you'll have, like, you know, assault pets and like tank pets and support pets. And I think that's it. I think that's how they'll differentiate that. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hello. Hi. Hope your week is going well. You too. Apologies in advance if it seems long-winded. It doesn't, because it all fits on one screen. During my time at Endwalker, I completed my first Savage raid tier ever. Grats. P1S. Wait, raid ever, not raid tier. I added the brain. Yeah, Savage ratings always seem so daunting and unattainable to me, so this was a huge accomplishment. Tried to plug into P2S, but then new fatherhood took all my time and attention. The true Savage. With Dawn Trail coming this summer, I feel re-energized to tackle Savage again, but with a challenging work and home schedule. 2 babies under 2. Oh yeah, good luck with that. It's really feasible to find a static. So, yes, but also it's feasible to just PF in your spare time. Just, I mean, some people raid like 1 lockout once or twice a week, and they still get the whole tier done sooner or later. And will it be hilariously bad at times? Oh yeah, but you just have to laugh through it, laugh through the pain, and that helps. That helps. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey, Monsieur Happy. I don't know, I had to say happy like that. I couldn't just say Monsieur. Going back to a question someone asked last week, whether new jobs could be released earlier, got me thinking, starting new jobs always 20 levels below max is going to be a problem in the future. No, starting with Reaper and Sage was already a much bigger hurdle than starting with Samurai or even Astro. Wait, just because the sheer... Oh, okay, I was going to say, no, it's the same the whole way. Astro is 30 levels below, you got to remember also. With jobs having some kind of rotation at each capstone level, and more importantly, having some... Trust me when I say, they are not making those jobs with rotations at capstone levels. If you have ever played some of them at like flat 50, flat 60, flat 70, flat... Like, there are some jobs they clearly didn't consider what the job looks like or plays like at those specific level ranges, especially 70. Oh my goodness. It's probably even bigger. No, because the job design's so simple. At this point in the game, if you're at the point where you can unlock that job, going from one job to the other, honestly, is like not even a concern. So I don't agree, because if you're already good enough at the job that you picked to get to that point, there's nothing stopping you from picking up another job at that same point, taking a little bit of time on it to get adjusted, and then learning from there. If you're someone who doesn't care about how well you play, it doesn't matter what job you play, you're probably going to be bad at all. That's the truth. Like, if you don't care about how well you're playing, there's a good chance that you just pick up every job and think it's awesome, and you're a badass and you're having a great time, and that's great. You need to focus on that. But there's a good chance that the learning process wasn't even a factor. So I think in either way, in either party, it doesn't end up really mattering all that much. So I don't think I don't think it's that much of an issue. Hashtag Mr. Happy, but only on Mondays. Yeah, it's going to look a lot like that on the channel for the next several weeks. Hello. Hi. Any chance you can show or maybe describe how your dancer skills on hotkeys keybinds look like? You've mentioned maining it at some point. Yeah, many points at this point. Having trouble with grouping, spacing them where my hand doesn't have to dislocate to press skills. Ah, I see. Wait, hold on. Wait, where is it? No, get Aloha's own gaming chair. Okay, so clearly you don't have an MMO mouse. Either play on controller or get an MMO mouse or some sort of variant of the keyboard mouse arrangement. There's a lot of options out there, but the problem I'm seeing is that you are very likely playing with only your left hand, essentially. And that will solve a lot of issues, because Dancer doesn't really take up a whole lot of space. It's literally like 1, 2, 3, 4 for your single target combo, Alt 1, 2, 3, 4 for the AoE combo, and then shift 1, 2, 3 for fan dances, and that's like the majority of your skills that you're pressing on the regular. But then I have like RT and F. I have, but then I have 7 keys bound to my mouse buttons, and then 7 keys bound to my Alt mouse buttons or my Shift mouse button. Like, mouse, get an MMO mouse. Get one. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey Haps, how you doing? I'm doing all right. You doing all right? I'm doing all right. I asked last week about Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, and somehow have another fighting game related question. EVO will be at Las Vegas Convention Center this year, and the usual, and it is a change from the usual venue at Mandalay Bay. Do you have any advice for people who are going there for the first time from attending previous FanFest or resources? Bro, I just hope Vegas for you isn't nearly as bad as Vegas was this year, but for them getting ready for the F1 race, everyone, I used to love going to Vegas. Going to Vegas, it was so relaxing, getting into Vegas and getting around, and it was super cheap. And it's not anymore. It's terrible. Be prepared. I'm just going to tell you what happened the last time I went. Be prepared for traffic. Be prepared to pay way more money than you're willing to go for 1 or 2 blocks. And while there are public transits like the monorail, if it's in the middle of summer, it's going to be blistering heat, and the monorail is going to melt you like you wouldn't believe. So that's there's a whole lot of pluses and minuses that didn't used to come from Las Vegas that now come from Las Vegas. And I'll be prepared to come home sick as well. Definitely be prepared to come home sick. It's going to happen. I accept that now. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey, hi, how you doing? I'm doing all right. You doing all right? I'm doing all right. If you had to choose, would you rather have more fights be DPS check focused or more fights focused on the party correctly doing the mechanical dance? Where's the meme with the girl? What movie was that? Was that from the Adam Sandler movie? The Why Not Both meme? I think it was Grown Ups. Was that from Grown Ups? I think it was from Grown Ups. Yeah, why not both? I mean, you need things factored in that force the entire party to play well. You shouldn't just have to pick one or the other. You know, it's just a matter of the intensity. So, why not both? Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hey, Happy. Hi, hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. Day off's been good. I just have a two-part question, whether it's because you liked or disliked executing a mechanic, or just think it was well designed or terribly designed. Is there one mechanic in the upcoming Eden Ultimate that you're particularly looking forward to seeing or hope to see? Is there one mechanic you don't want to see? I think I have the same answer for both. I think Light Rampant might just be the answer. The same answer for both of those questions. So that's what I'm going to go with. Light Rampant. Hashtag the first or second day of the week with Sire Happy, depending on how you track the days of the week. Fair. Hello. Hi. As a player who joined an Endwalker, I've never experienced a significant job rework. With known and potential reworks coming up, how do you deal with jobs not feeling as how they used to play? I enjoy current Dragoon and fear the rework will make me not enjoy it as much. Well, I play every job in some capacity, and my interest levels for each wax and wane, depending on the changes. So that's what I do. I just try everything out, and I take whatever feels best. Or fizz ranged, because I always end up on fizz ranged. Doesn't seem avoidable at this point. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Haps. Hi. Doing all right, I hope? I'm doing all right. Say, you think they'll ever make Senor Sabotender weapons for the jobs that don't have them yet? Considering I forgot those weapons even existed, I'm going to go ahead and say maybe. We have more Yokai Watch weapons than Senor Sabotender, and I think that's a shame. You say some of the newer Yokai weapons look good, but it's a solid maybe. At best, I'd say. Hashtag Mondays with Mr. Happy. Hello, mate. Hello. I'm not happy. You are. Damn right. I want to be happy, so please share your thoughts on this so you continue being happy. Damn right. Criterion Savage award for glowy weapon versions of the augmented tombstone weapon is, and I quote, unpopular, primarily due to the requisite mat to augment the weapon coming from P11S. IRC, when the Savage tier unlocks, you should also be able to purchase the weapon augment mats with the 3 AR coins. Perfectly reasonable. So do you agree that this enables the players who recognize that 8-man content is sometimes more difficult to coordinate with a W than with 4-man to obtain this specific weapon? I don't even think they should do this layout again. I think this is a problem. I think you could solve it this way. I don't think they should even do this again. The glowy weapon. I think they really need to focus on the rewards for normal Criterion. And then if they want to do this again for Criterion Savage, just don't make it require the original weapon. Just don't do it at all. Just make it so that it uses the model, it's glowy, it's 5 item levels higher, but just completely separate it from the need to even get any of that stuff. Don't even worry about unlocking the material earlier. Just go and just make it available. Like, that is the reward. It's just a glowy model, higher item level version without the need for the original. All right, and that is, well, that's the last question with a hashtag. Somebody asked if the Behemoth fate still spawns. Funny thing, I ran into it the other day and I was like, oh snap, you never see this anymore. Well, that's not true. The Discords do call stuff like Behemoth and Odin, but I don't ever look at those, so I never see it. Somebody asked what the other channel is, by the way. It's at MrHappy_gaming. That's what the other channel is. I feel like there was something else I skipped over. There's some more dark eye or eye bag comments below, or I don't know. It's got to be a meme at this point, but if it's not, they're fucking idiots, so it doesn't matter. It's either a meme or they're fucking idiots. One of the two is true, and it's funny to me either way. Then there's a few other things here. Somebody asking about the new player 11 stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going with the, because the link shell just took over for me. I started, and every day I was logging in for like 4 or 5 days, and every time I tried to help someone, somebody else was like, no, I got it. And I was just like, do I even need to be here? And so I started logging back into other stuff because I was like, okay, well, you know, if you need me, just come and let me know if you need me to log in. And then it's like, yeah, I mean, to be fair, 11 is largely a solo experience now, but I was still expecting to need to do more, a little bit more to help people out. Though granted, we did get a good amount of stuff done. We helped a few people get wraps. I think the very first thing I did was was get a group together to finish Rhapsodies of Vana'diel for somebody, which is like the end point of where I expected most people to end up. Yeah, March is going to be super busy, but the plan is to do another round of that, probably for another week or so to get people going and just to breathe a little bit more life into it. With 11 really more in maintenance mode than it's ever been, it's definitely waxed and waned in terms of, that's the second time I've said that in one video. It's kind of lame. That's the second time that, anyway, for the second event, yeah, we probably have to drum up some interest in it again in a similar vein to what I did the first time. And maybe I'll actually be needed this time. But I think now that's everything, unless there's another not hashtag comment that I missed. But yeah, that's going to be all. All right, with that, thanks everyone for watching this week's episode of Mondays with Mr. Happy. Be sure to like and subscribe. And stay tuned while we're on a bit of a quiet note right now. We will have, of course, Dawn Trail excitement coming up. And I'll probably post a few. I know I've posted very little on 7, but I'll probably post like a few things, like, you know, like a thoughts video once I've played through it. And I don't know. I probably won't do much in the way of guides for 7. I don't know. I guess it depends on how the game actually like turns out, like how much of it's really necessary. Because with like the world map and stuff, I'm not going to talk about it too much. Don't worry. But like with the world map that we've seen from their previews and whatnot, I guess it's a matter of like how natural that is to do. Like, does it need guidance? Does it need anything like that? So question marks, but those will be answered at the end of the month. And 7 stuff will go on this channel, not on the other channel. So just so you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you all in next week's video and in the one other video I'll do this week. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring. Don't forget to use that link in the description if you want to support the channel. And until then, I bid you adieu. Bye-bye.